Alright, this is the African Crypto Warlord show. I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope that the cicadas aren't annoying you, or that they aren't coming through the microphone too hectically. But today what we're going to do is we're going to look at BTC USDT. We're going to put some longer term targets on. Things are looking healthy. The only reason why people might be feeling like, this doesn't have the gas, or it needs a lot more work to get the gas in, is because there's this RO has been squeezed all the way down, and it hasn't had the opportunity to cross through on the 21 day. And when it does, obviously it's quite powerful, but it will need a mean revert. So you might get positive drift up into 22,130, but there's a target that we can clearly see here, which is at 39,710. Okay, so we're going to look for things that back up 39,710 and things that negate it. All right. So we're going to quickly shuffle to the 14-day, see what volatility is saying. There's no 14-day volatility. So we have expansion on the first day. We have expansion on the first day over here. So we have column, first one's positively correlated, pretty strong. You just need to wait for this PC to whip around. Okay. And then you'll look for some good continuation. Bearish, denied, mean reversion down here. You'll have a little bit of a div maybe form. Like, or no, that's a normal one, but it denied. It's just normal RO. It just denied bullish, bearish mean reversion. If it holds above, it's JMA. More so if it holds into this 21,218 region. Okay, down here, what we can see is when Bitcoin is positively or negatively correlated to Dixie. So there's a general play that it's inverse. I have been playing around with it for XRP. Bit choppy, bit wicky in the current conditions, but yes, it does work. So it's something that I've thrown in for allowing me to hold trades for a little bit longer, so I don't have to psych myself up. Anyway, so we have negative correlation, which would mean that if BTC is going up, Dixie would be going down. 7-day, so a 14-day expansion. We need to look for some good news on the 7-day. So here's the thing, right? This PC doesn't really stay down for too long, like down or in this region for too long. So we have expansion, we're moving into a trend. The way that you know that this trend will be confirmed is when a Shannon Entropy oscillator ticks into its trend. So when it says all the chaos and disorder has now been summed up and it's going in this direction until stated otherwise. So right now it's reaching out to say that the chaos and disorder wants to go in that direction. Obviously it's easier, but we want to know when the trend kicks in. What you're going to have to really look for is, because this has been up here for a very long time, is significant positive correlation through expansion and volatility. Now if that happens, you can start looking for a target at any one of these until it switches off. Right, so as long as it stays green, we'll see some other things on low-term time frames. So we have a 27. Just call it. We won't be generous. We'll just call it $27,000, 800, and then its mean reversion play from this reverse wave trend is pretty much 30k, and then to the upside where it would want to slow down would be at about $38,471. So we're going to be monitoring this kick up through. We have DLP looking to start mean reverting to the upside. As you can see, when DLP gets red, she stays red. When she goes green, over here, when she goes green, she's pretty much green. And then red, she stays red. So we're looking to move into a green phase with a good mean reversion to the upside and some expansion. So this is looking clean for BTC, to be honest. Given it is a big candle, we got to see if there's going to be anything that front runs it. Sorry, I need to switch off these PB cones. Okay, so we got to see if there's going to be anything that front runs it. What do we have? We have the same nice, so we have chaos and disorder moving into the same play. Alright, mean reversion through. DLP on the 5-day, it's pretty tidy. It pretty much called bulls from the outside of the reverse wave trend. Highly unusual. So that's also another reason why you could say that this data popped up real quick, given we're just above a previous high where the 5-day was, but it's getting some legs. Still negatively correlated, haven't had our red flash. Chaos and disorder is looking to put us at 22,836. if it keeps up with this posture. Let's go look for things that negate this. So there's a lot of fuel. There's a lot of fuel, as a homie just posted in his BTC analysis. I'm just going over the fuel as well, man. So there is a lot of fuel to get BTC up into whatever the 21-day crisscrosses were at the top. There is a lot of fuel. Mean reversion, clean on the 3-day, bouncing off. Okay, so here's your general play. You start closing like 2-3-day candles above $20,000, $636 dollars. Start closing 2 candle closes above there, you'll definitely look for positive correlation, and that can kick you up into 23,196. Pretty easy. Having its first outlier event, that's why I say it needs to hold above here so that these outlier events don't tear it down. 2-day, because homie also like the 2-day, so still negatively correlated. Contraction. So we're moving into, so here's the cool thing, right? So there's a contraction phase in volatility, and maybe some people can't see this, but what we must look for is, yes, as much as volatility, yes, we want to look for expansion and volatility, but the expansion and volatility are these long candles, right? These long candles to the downside. It's the easiest one to see, so a lot more people can take the trade. The harder one to see is the contraction play that happens out of volatility. So the contraction phase, whilst negatively correlated, right, so it's 50-50 at the moment, but when this cloud crosses through, that tells me it's 100% positive drift. What's positive drift? It means price goes up whilst volatility is contracting, right? So you could look at that as a mean reversion play, okay? So you want to monitor that. There's a little bit of cross here, 25,381, which can get trappy. Let's go before that. So for about from $24,500 to $24,000, there's a little bit of a trappy up here, but you still need to get through $21,239 on the 2-day. So 24-hour, let's see if this contraction play plays true. So you have, here's something that starts to negate the high, but we have hit a reverse wave trend, okay? It's going to be the first touch. We haven't touched this thing for flip. It's been like a couple days now, nearly 16 days. What was that about, or more? Okay, so we have contraction positively correlated, and it's still in its disorder. So what you got to see is, as price starts to pull back, you want to see the normal entropy tick back out to say no, chaos and disorder isn't to the downside. So it will have a little bit of a contraction phase, shit gets a bit choppy, and then when it looks for its new trend, you'll know what's cutting. We're having an outlier event, so this is confluence in data. We're having an outlier event over here and up here at this reverse wave trend. Okay, red flash is on, so let's look for some bearish signals. Oh wait, we have a 24-hour cone. So here's something that's highly important. On the last BTC update that I made, I said that BTC has a new trend. That's only because all of these things lined up. Let me zoom out so you can see what you're looking at. All of these lined up. This is volatility, right? So I have 5 volatility tools, one side, and then another 2 on the other side. So this is just to put up my cones and tell me when volatility is expanding or contracting over a longer term. That's how I use these indicators. So when they all flash 0, I know that that's a 0 point in volatility. So then I go throw up something called the price distribution, and all that's pretty much used for is it does math off of this thing, it puts it through a formula, and then it plots out levels. And then these levels are considered random levels, but when price action gets to them, I have stuff like ROs that will match up, like an outlier event, but we're above it. As you can see, we're above this outlier event currently under contraction phase. So general idea being is, if it doesn't wick itself from wherever this cone is, let me see if I can bring it forward, bring to front, not over the candles, anyway. So where this cone is, it must probably be right here. Where this cone is where you want to start holding price action, okay? And then if you can hold price action above this cone for a very long time, then you can maybe expect 29.50, right? But otherwise, if you fail this level, you can expect a test at around about $20,200. So that will be a little bit of a range that BTC will want to play in. And then we're going to go throw up on a 12-hour. So 12-hour is having a little bit of sideways, also same thing. It needs to tick out under this contraction phase. Now there's negative drift in the book because there's no more expansion, so it naturally triggers negative drift. And if this negative drift is true, then we'll see this flash off and this outlier event become true. But we have RO, both sides of the outlier. So let's just go let's get a little bit more sharp. Right, let's get a little bit more sharp here. So we have a 6-hour cone, I think, that I put it on. So our 6-hour cone and our 6-hour reverse wave trend, for example, we've completely broken out of it. So we've got to go look for new levels. So we'll go put up our UMP, and we can see that our UMP on the 6-hour pretty much nailed price action. Okay, so this is our ultimate power mean by alpha trading, set at a length -1 of default. So this is going to hold range, okay, and more than likely as price starts to drop, this JMA is going to drop a bit down here. So you look at about $20,300 to $20,783. You start closing candles on the 1 minute above here, you'll see volatility flick around to the upside. Okay, then what are we going to do? We're going to go look at the 3-hour. It's got expansion phase. That's perfect. So you are looking for a little bit more upside through this play, even though we've had a big candle. So here's a very good example of positive drift coming in the book. We've had a big candle. We've had mean reversion. Why is this thing mean reverted? And for some reason, yeah, price action go down, but it didn't go down as deep as I would have expected. Let's just say you use tools like that. Well, I use these tools. So how do I know? I look for confluence in data. So yes, returns are going to get smaller. We've had 2 big candles that are still in my data set. So that's a given. But what I got to monitor for is positive or negative drift. So right now we have positive drift. And positive drift is what's bouncing it off of and keeping it above this JMA, even though you have a mean reversion play. And if this carries on through, then you'll have a denied bullish mean reversion at top side the JMA. Quite powerful move. Obviously, if it closes below the JMA, then this will be true, and then you'll see volatility expand, and then the next candle will go to the downside. Okay, so we're going to go 90 minutes. So there's a target that I am looking for, which is actually outside of one of my cones. Where's my 6-hour cone? I want to mark this target off. So it's 19,729. Because when I get onto the 15 minutes, so there's 90 minutes, some returns to the downside, easy, quite wonky. That's cool. 45 minute with a mean reversion play. So that the 90 minute doesn't really like to mess around. Contraction positively correlates. This is negative drift trying to pull us back into a mean of 19,881. So this has the next ebb and flow and volatility. So we've had the red flashes off. So this is the short signal. You're going to look for follow through here. There it went red. Now you're going to look for the follow through here if it closes below this JMA. Alright. And then it's going to want to push to try close above it, and that's going to make it look like there's a bull div. Now at that moment in 90 minutes time, you could say 100 minutes and 1 minute. It's time. What you want to look for is expansion and volatility was positively correlated is bullish. Expansion volatility was negatively correlated. Boom, back down here rather quickly. Okay, 30 minute. Let's see what 30 minute is. So it's trying to put in, it obviously has an up candle instead of a down candle. But what we see here is expansion upside. So there's positive drift that's keeping this, but volatility is looking to kick this thing down because PC's going into negative and volatility looks like it wants to expand. So then to negate that, you have to close above JMA. Otherwise, you don't close above JMA. You're going to look for 2-3, 20K, 375. Okay, looking to stay in its trend on DLP. If returns stay above here, you might have another chance to print above the JMA. Alright, now we're going to go into our 15 minute. So, my 15 minute distribution cone. has been nailed, I would have another band which would come round about here. But I messed around with my numbers. So, what you need to see, and if it doesn't happen, BTC comes back down to 19,202, is you need to see 5 flashes line up. So a contraction in volatility, and then 5 flashes. If that happens whilst you're above this region, alright, this band, if you're above 2349 and that happens, then it negates this mean reversion play to the downside. So that will help stick the new flash on the 24-hour that has happened in this distribution cone. So we'll look for about 25.76 under contraction for new flashes. If it does, BTC has the natural ability now to reset indicators and build steam to the upside. Okay, otherwise it can be murdered quite easily, like with this that's coming in, contraction positively correlated, can be murdered quite easily. So you need something like this on a 15-minute to flash reverse wave trend. There you go. So we'll come test the top side of this reverse wave trend. Ultimate power mean is red. Top side of the reverse wave trend. See if Dixie has flipped us around over here. So top side of the reverse wave trend, look for continuation. Dixie's is now negatively correlated, so Dixie would be pumping if this has got a down candle for now. Okay, there you go. There's your mean reversion point, and you need to set a 15-minute cone somewhere above here in order to have the steam to get out of here. Hope that is helpful. There's a lot of steam on the higher term time frames, so this might get super wicky because you can sell into buy bots. So there's liquidity if you're a seller. Yeah, I hope that was helpful. Top side 2048, mean reversion 20,258. You'll get cuffed here if you get to that point. Hard fight. If it has a hard fight, you'll see a 15-minute flash. If no 15-minute flash, hello papi, all the way back down to at least a third, 1821. Or let me be a bit more generous, 18902. I hope this was helpful. If you liked it, please do like and subscribe. Leave a comment for a shitcoin that is listed on TradingView, and I can do an analysis on it. Ciao bella.